John O'Neill, who called himself 3rd Earl of Tyrone, was the youngest son of Hugh O'Neill, Earl of Tyrone. Early life. He left Ireland with his father and Rory O'Donnell, 1st Earl of Tyrone, during the flight of the Earls in September 1607 and went to the European continent. He was considered too young to accompany his father on the journey to Rome and was left in Flanders in the care of his brother Henry. He was educated by Franciscans in Leuven. Military service. Once old enough, he took up service to the Spanish crown in one of the Irish regiments in Flanders. While there he, like his other O'Neill cousins, constantly planned the return of his father and the restoration of the Gaelic order in Ulster. He became titular colonel of the regiment of Tyrone on the death of his half-brother Henry at the request of his father. In 1613 he was at court in Brussels as the page of the Infanta Isabella. After his father died in Rome in 1616, John assumed the title of Earl of Tyrone. His ascent was recognized by both the Pope Urban VIII and the Infanta Isabella of Spain, the royal governor of the Spanish Netherlands. His title, Conde or Count, was recognized in Spain but no longer in England or Ireland. The title had been granted to his great-grandfather Conbach O'Neill, 1st Earl of Tyrone, by Henry VIII of England, and confirmed to his father Hugh by Elizabeth I. It was forfeit by and active attainder passed by the Irish Parliament in 1608. A 1625 proposal to the Infanta by Irish expatriates in the Spanish Netherlands, notably Flathri O'Maol Chonner, then Archbishop of Tuam, O'Neill's cousin, Owen Roe O'Neill, for an invasion of Ireland by Spanish forces was rejected. The Archbishop and Owen Roe O'Neill made the way to Madrid to present the plan to the King of Spain, Philip IV of Spain, arriving in 1627. The proposal called for a landing at Killybegs, with the city of Derry to be taken to provide a defensible port. The proposal also called for the Spanish forces to be led by John O'Neill and Hugh O'Donnell, son of Rory O'Donnell, 1st Earl of Tyrone, who had accompanied his father to Flanders during the flight of the Earls. To ease tensions between the two families, it was proposed that both were to be appointed as generals of the invasion force and would be considered equals. O'Donnell would be in command of a 2nd Irish Regiment created from the existing regiment, and the two new regiments would be supplemented with men drawn from other Spanish forces in the Netherlands. Although a fleet of 11 ships was assembled at Dunkirk, with the fleet anticipated to sail in September 1627, disagreements remained over the composition and leadership of the invasion force. The Infanta in Brussels, wishing to reduce the repercussions to Spain in the event of failure, wanted to reduce the number of Walloons and wished for John O'Neill to be in sole command, while Madrid favoured O'Donnell. The final plan, proposed in December 1627, called for the establishment of new Irish Parliament and that it would be known that O'Neill and O'Donnell were not undertaking the invasion for the personal gain, but for the establishment of a Kingdom and Republic of Ireland. In the end, the plan was abandoned by the King of Spain. O'Neill was considered as a threat to English supremacy in Ireland. A 1627 letter from the Lord Deputy of Ireland, Viscount Falkland, claimed evidence existed to the effect that the King of Spain planned to send O'Neill to Ireland at the head of a Spanish army to claim the throne of Ulster for O'Neill himself, and to be proclaimed as Governor of Ireland on behalf of the Spanish monarch. John O'Neill approached Philip IV with another proposal for an invasion in 1630. This proposal was rebuffed. During his time in Madrid, O'Neill was made a Knight of Calatrava and a member of the Spanish Supreme Council of War. In 1639, another request by O'Neill to the Spanish King Philip IV that he be allowed to lead a Spanish army to Ireland was rejected. In 1641, Rory O'More, unaware of O'Neill's death, sought his assistance for the planned rebellion of 1641. O'Neill used his influence with the Pope to have his former tutor Aodh Macathwile installed as Archbishop of Armagh and Primate of Ireland in 1626. In 1630 he founded the College of San Pedro y San Pablo y San Patricio in Alcala. It closed after his death. In 1638, the Irish regiments commanded by O'Neill and O'Donnell were transferred from the Army of Flanders to Spain to bolster forces there in the face of unexpected French invasion. These regiments were involved in the Spanish attempt to put down the Catalan revolt. John died in January 1641, leading his regiment during the Battle of Montjuïc near Barcelona, dying from a musket ball wound to his chest near the town of Castelldefels. His regiment suffered catastrophic losses in the engagement. His brother Brian had died 2 days earlier. Family. John was born in Dungannon in 1599. His mother was Catherine Magennis, daughter of Sir Hugh Magennis. While in Madrid after 1630, he met Isabel O'Donnell and they had a child out of wedlock, Hugh Eugene O'Neill, who was later legitimized by the king. The family tradition of the O'Neills of Martinique is that John also had a legitimate son Patrick, and that John and Patrick both fought with Owen Roe O'Neill in 1642. According to this tradition, Patrick married and settled in Ireland. The Martinique family claims descent from his son Henry, who emigrated at some time during the reign of James II. Owen Roe O'Neill was asked whether he was the Earl of Tyrone, and he denied it, saying that the true Earl was Constantino O'Neill. Then in Spain, the relationship of this Con to the rest of the family is unclear.